Hey everybody, I have a little card tutorial I want to share with you today. It's been quite a while since I've done a video for YouTube, and I've really missed doing videos, but I've got so many other obligations on my plate right now with my blog that I just don't have time to do videos like I'd like to. But I did find a few spare minutes today, and I want to show you how to make this card. It's called a magic card. The lady who developed this particular design is from Norway. Her name is Marianne. I'm not even going to try to say her last name because I would totally mess it up. But she's extremely talented. I get a lot of inspiration from her. And she calls it a magic card because her son was showing her a magic trick that apparently involved some paper. And however he was folding this paper inspired her to create this card design. So today, like I said, what I want to show you is some step-by-step instructions on how to create this particular card. Now I wish my camera, I just used a regular digital camera, so I can't make it zoom out or in while I'm filming. It's stationary, so I can't show you this card as well as I'd like to, but it has wings that help it to stand up. And the inside, this outer part flips up to show you the inside of your card. I have to turn this sideways. It's got a place for your cinnamon in there for you to write, and then at the top I also added one with some nestabilities and one of those chipboard pieces from Michaels that I covered with some white paint dabber and a little bit of glitter, and just added that for a little bit of embellishment. The image that I have here on the outside is a beautiful image called Child of Healing from Crafts and Me. It's a digital stamp. I am crazy about digital stamps. I do some designing for several digital stamp artists, and not this particular one, although I really like hers. But I did this in Copics, and there's another one of those chippy pieces with paint and glitter and some roses and these little decorative stems and pearls and some glitter. And I actually filmed the creating of this card step by step, but I didn't like the way the video came out, so I'm redoing it today. But you can find all the information about what I used to make this card on my blog, as well as the one I'm about to show you. So let's go ahead and get to the actual creating of the base of the card. First of all, you need one piece of cardstock that's 6 inches by 7 inches. On the 7-inch length, you need to come in 1.5 inches on both sides and score. The next piece needs to be 6 inches by 6 inches, and you'll come in 1 inch on either side and score that. The third piece will be 7.5 by 4 inches. On the 7.5 inch length, you will score at 6 and 6 1/8. And that's the three main components for the base of the card. The 7-inch by 6-inch piece is the back piece, and it will look sort of like this. It will look like this after you punch your edges, which is totally up to you what punch you use, whether you punch at all. It's totally your design choice. But I did use the doily lace punch on mine. I also inked my edges with some vintage photo and added some strips of designer paper in between the punching and the score line. I can't give you measurements on the designer paper parts because it will depend on which punch you use as to what the width of this will be. A tip though for punching, if you're like me and a bit of a perfectionist and you want all those punched edges to line up perfectly, you can use a pencil to make a light, well, if I get it on the right side it would help, a light pencil line at the midpoint on your sides before you punch, and line them up with the mark on your punch. And if your punch does not have a mark, you can always use a ruler and mark it with a Sharpie or something like that, so you can see where your center point is. And that way all of your punching, your decorative punching on the edges, will line up with each other. So that is the back panel. The next panel is the 6 by 6 panel. I've also punched it and inked the score lines, and these, as you can see, are obviously very small designer paper pieces that cover the extra space on this piece. Now this is actually the center of your card, the inside where the sentiment that you will add will go. So I've cut a piece of designer paper, inked it, added a scalloped oval and a regular oval cut with nestabilities to the center, and add a little ink to it too, so it matched all the distressed look of the rest of the card. And you're just gonna glue that down. Now I use liquid glue because I live on the Gulf Coast, so any kind of tape runner is just not going to hold up to the humidity down here. Before you know it, everything starts popping off because it just cannot stand up to the humidity. So I use liquid glue on just about everything unless I really, really need a super sturdy hold, and then I'll use Sukwanger, Redline, or Copic tape. Any of those are fine down here in the humidity, but the regular tape runners just don't work. Alright, so there's the inside of your card finished. Now, the next part is the outside of your card. Alright, I've already folded those score lines and inked all the edges on this. This will be the front of your card. The inside of your card, you have to kind of pay attention to how you put your paper on here. You want to make sure it is in this position when you glue your inside piece down, so that when you flip your card open, it's right side up. I've cut another piece of designer paper and inked the edges and added a sentiment, a scripture that I printed out and cut out with the same nestabilities I used for the other cutout, and I'm going to put that on here as the upper part of the inside of the card. And you're of course free to decorate your card any way you want to. It's just, you might want to keep in mind that this is probably not something you want to add a lot of bulky embellishment to. There is that little bit of 1/8 of an inch that you've given yourself with the score line, but that's not a lot of room for embellishment. So we're going to go ahead and glue that down. Now I've already started right here by putting a piece of score tape on this little flap. And we need to put another one on. I'm using some Copic tape right here, because we want a very sturdy, good adhesive on here to make sure this flap holds really good. And what you're going to do is take this part and take the center part that you just glued the other sentiment on. It's going to attach like this to flip open. So we're going to flip that piece over to the back. We're going to pull our tape off, and we're going to very carefully attach this piece. Line up your score lines. And here's another little tip for you. I have cut a slight little bit off of this 4-inch wide piece, just so it will fit directly in between those score lines, so that when it folds up, it's actually sitting in between those flaps instead of overlapping them. The other card that I made had a little difficulty getting it to stand up good, and I think that was what was causing the problem, because that was throwing the fold off. So I have it lined up in there now. So that piece is secured. We need to attach the back now, so we're going to take some more tape and we're going to run that along this back side, so we can sandwich these two pieces together. And make sure you don't get it past the score line and onto your front part of your card. I think I'm going to run about 4 just to make sure this is well glued down. going to go ahead and peel this off. And you're going to take this back section, you're going to make sure that it is where the decorative paper is facing. I have it on both sides of this one because I actually cut these a little short. I wanted to redo them so they looked a little better. But you're going to line your score marks up again with your top of your card and then press that down. And there are your wings. Now, the last part of the card is your front, obviously. For this one, I've used another image from Crafts and Me, Sarah Burrier. This one is called Noon. I've also done this one in Copics, and there's a little glitter and some punch work and stitching. I love to stitch on my cards. And this beautiful sentiment that I got from Create with TLC. She does a lot of not exactly what you call it, but word art, I guess is what you call it. And she has a lot of freebies on her blog, and this happened to be one of them. And I got really lucky because I decided to use this after I had already created the base at the front with the stitching and everything, and I didn't know if it was going to go through my printer or not, but it came out really good. It says, "Prayer is the place where burdens change shoulders," and I thought it went really well with this image of this little angel. So we're going to go ahead and attach the front of our card. Put some more liquid glue on here. I'm going to line that up. Get it centered well. Oops. Got a brand new tripod. I'm not used to having it right in front of me. And there's the card all put together. I'm going to give you my blog address. You can go to my blog, and I'm going to have some photos of this that you can look at closer up if you want to see a little bit better view of it. And there's no way I can stand it up as it is right now, and you'll be able to see it very well. So if you want to see a better view of it, you can go to my blog. And I'll also have information where you can find Marianne's picture tutorial of her magic card, as well as a list of all the supplies that I used to create this card. And you can also find the other card on my blog too. But I hope this will be helpful for you. I hope it's something that you're interested in seeing. If you like card tutorials and you'd like to see me do some other ones, just leave me a comment in the comment section and let me know that you're interested in that. These aren't too time consuming for me, so I might be able to squeeze a few more of these in. But like I said, I hope this is helpful. I hope you give this a try. It makes a beautiful card. And just happy crafting to you. See you next time. Bye.